Hello! Today we are doing math lesson 3, which is decompose to subtract. So in lesson 1 we talked about adding three numbers together, and in lesson 2 we talked about decomposing to subtract, or decomposing to add, and so now we're decomposing to subtract. So it's the same strategy as the adding one, but this time we're going to be taking away instead of adding some more, which is what subtract means. So we're starting this morning with this problem. It is 89 minus 24. The first thing that we need to do is decompose our numbers, and then we can start to work with them. So let's think. In the number 89, how many tens are in there? Okay, well I know that this is the tens place, and that it shows me that there are 8 groups of 10 hiding inside the number 89. So I know that I have 8 groups of 10. How can I represent 8 groups of 10? With the number 80. That's right, so I'm going to go ahead and write that here. 8 groups of 10 is represented by 80. Great work. Let's hop over to the next number and pick out the tens place in that number. So look at 24. Which number is in the tens place in 24? The 2 is in the tens place, but does it mean 2? No, it means 20, because it's 2 groups of 10. So this 2 right here represents 2 groups of 10, making it 20. So I can go ahead and write that right here. Alright, and I'm making sure that I have my subtraction symbol. I'm using the same symbol that I used in the top problem. It's coming down here to represent in our tens group. Let's hop down to the ones. Let's think about how many ones we have in this problem. Okay, so let's look at 89. Which number is in the ones place? The 9. And how many does that 9 represent? It represents 9 ones. It's not representing any groups of 10, any groups of 100. No, it's only representing ones because it's in the ones place. There's a big old difference in between $9 and $90 in there. This 9 is in the ones place, so it represents just 9 units, 9 groups of 1. Which number is in the ones place in 24? 4, yeah, and it represents 4 groups of 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write that, and I'm remembering to use the same sign in all of them. See, subtraction, 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 subtraction. Don't try to add these numbers. Don't come for me with that. All right, now let's start doing our math. Some of y'all might have already figured this out just from what I have so far, and that's great. But we need to make sure that we know the different strategies to subtract. So let's start with our tens place. We can either count backwards, starting at 80 and counting backwards. We can think about 8 minus 2 and then use that kind of as our groups to help us think about what number it's going to be. We can count by 2s. There's lots of different ways we can do it. I'm going to just count backwards, but you can count by 2s. And we're going to count backwards by groups of 10. I'm not going to sit here and have 20 counters out and go 80, 79, 78. That's going to take too long. I'm going to count by groups of 10. Let's start by thinking that there's 2 groups of 10 in 20. So what's 10 less than 80? If I have 80 and I take out 1 group of 10s, that would be 70. All right, so I would have 70. What's 1 group of 10s less than 70? 60. So if I have 80, let's pretend that each of my fingers represents a group of 10. If I have 80 and I take out 2 more groups of 10, how many groups of 10 am I left with? I'm left with 6 groups of 10, which makes our number 60. Woo, we did it. You could also draw a picture. You could use models. However you want to do that subtraction, it's up to you. As long as we all get the same answer, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and do our ones. We're starting at 9, and we're going to take away 4. The easiest way for me to think about that is that I know that 4 and 4 makes 8, and 9 is just 1 more than 8. So if 4 and 4 make 8, what number with 4 would make 9? I'm kind of thinking of it as a fact family. So if I was going to draw a little fact family down here, I would have 9 minus 4 equals something. 9 minus something equals 4. 4 plus something equals 9. And something plus 4 equals 9. So what is my something that I'm missing? What number plus 4 will get me to 9? What number 9 minus 4 will get me what number? 5, that's right. Now you could also draw models for that one. You could count backwards, but we used a fact family method this time. Okay. So when I look at my numbers here, now am I finished? No ma'am, don't turn this in. We're not finished. We have to think about putting our number back together, putting our answer back together. Which number is going to go in the tens place? It's the 6, the one that's representing 60. We know that 60 needs to go in the tens place, so I'm going to go ahead. Where's my blue marker? Haha. I'm going to go ahead and write the 6 representing 60 in our tens place. So we can see that we took this 6 for this number 60 and we moved it right there. See that? And it's still representing 6 groups of 10. Don't put it in the ones place because then it's not representing groups of 10 anymore. Then it's groups of ones. We don't want groups of ones because the one that has groups of ones is 5. 5 goes in my ones place. And now my answer is 65. Okay, good job solving that problem with me. I know that subtraction can sometimes be a little tricky, but when you think about it as the same way as adding, it really helps us understand that we're on the same kind of number line. It's a lot like a fact family. So you can use adding to help you subtract. You can use subtraction to help you add. Okay, thank you for working with me.